I remember this phone being good about 6 years ago. Not amazing, but just good. Fast forward 6 years, and I'm now realizing that this isn't a substitute for an iPhone 12 mini or 13 mini. Instead, the iPhone SE 2nd Gen, or 2020, is an abomination. Let's just get into it, because honestly, I feel for whoever buys this phone, and worse, doesn't take the time to replace the battery. This is the worst phone for iOS 26, and I'm kind of surprised that Apple even allowed this to take the software in the first place. To the untrained, this seems like a good phone. 64, 128, or 256 gigabytes of storage, a small, light size at 148 grams, a 13 Bionic processor, just like the iPhone 11, only this has 3 gigabytes of RAM, which is clearly not enough. Glass on the back, aluminum on the frame, and the right side has the SIM tray and power button, nothing on the top, and the mute switch and volume buttons are on the left, while the back is glass, no special name or ceramic shield here. Maybe ion strengthened? I know the camera glass is sapphire crystal, but then on the front we get the old school styled 16 by 9 4.7 inch LCD display that's essentially 750p and 60 Hz. We get a home button on the bottom that doesn't move but has Touch ID in it, while the top is where the earpiece is that doubles with the speaker on the bottom for passable stereo audio, but come on. There's that odd 7 megapixel front camera with some light sensors, but overall the front is essentially the iPhone from 2007 to 2017, with some sprinkles in 2020 and 2022. To think, the current style kind of will be 10 years old in 2 more years, or next year depending. Okay, we're 300-ish words in, and I'll tell you that this phone is not trash, but it is close. In short, everything you do is tap, wait, tap, wait, tap, wait, tap, wait. And look, maybe you're thinking, but this was a $400 iPhone. It's fine for people to have to wait. Or even more importantly, that not everyone needs a fast phone. And while I can respect that, why would you watch a review? If you're fine with spending 10 to 30% of your phone usage simply waiting for the phone to process a basic task, then more power to you. But truly, I would say that either the RAM is the issue or iOS 26 did some unspeakable things to this phone, because the processor should be similar to an iPhone 11 Pro, just with less RAM, and I don't see people complaining about that phone. Maybe it's the screen, or at the very least the screen cripples this phone. Heat management is also an issue, as the basic usage is brutal on this phone, getting warm but not hot, but who cares when the phone decides to dim the screen after a few minutes of web browsing. And like I said, I like this phone. Now, I do carry another phone with me, so it's not like I'm stuck with this, but for under $100 used, you can get this phone that's better than some of the modern e-waste phones, like the Samsung A51 4G that launched 4 months prior to this for the same $400, but with a processor that's almost 3 times slower. For those wondering, even the Pixel 4a was faster than the A51, all for $350. But for a device so fast, why does it feel so bad today? Well, I explained that the design, lightweight, and simplicity is the appeal of this phone, but I don't think that was a great thing. If we get over the screen, this still has the lightning port on the bottom, which is fine being USB 2.0 and 18 watts of wired charging, but the wireless charging is decent at 7.5 watts max, but good luck getting those speeds. This was technically pre-MagSafe, but it will work with that obviously, just with no magnetic attachment. We get Wi-Fi 6, which is good, but only 4G for cellular, so no 5G at all. It was IP68 dust and water resistant, but I'll let you know that it will not be if you buy one. Don't even think about putting this thing in water. I will say that the screen is decently bright at 625 nits, actually being achievable, but not for long since, like I said, it does start dimming. The battery is really small at 1,821 milliamps or 6.91 watt hours, so not great. Then given the age, the phone heats up and drains the battery almost at like 1% a minute. So I replaced the battery, and I think that this was about a 10% battery difference. So no, the battery is never going to be great. If you're near the charger a lot, I guess it's okay, but also not. What about the cameras? We know that the old 7 megapixel one on the front isn't great for shooting video, only going to 1080p at 30 frames per second, but what about the rear 12 megapixel sensor? Well, the shots are passable, flat looking, and has as much life as a 2019 camera processor can do on a camera that was from 2017. Yes, the same 4K 60 frames per second capable roughly 1/3 inch sensor from the iPhone 8, but also the iPhone SE 2022. But hey, at least it has optical image stabilization. By the way, the front camera is the same as the iPhone 8 and SE 2022, which is something to bring up, because the screen is also the same. There's a very small difference on the 2022 version, but overall the screen will work on all three of these phones, which brings me to why someone would want to buy this phone over something like an A51 or Pixel 4a and probably any other OLED phones. For the price of the screen on the A51, you can buy the screen, battery, charging port, front and back cameras, and entire frame for the iPhone SE 2020 and still have $1 left over. And when compared to the 4A, I would still have $16 left over. Just like most phones with LCD screens, this ends up being the benefit of the phone, which is repairability and cost. So sure, the phone isn't perfect, but if you need a phone for the ecosystem and don't want to worry about it getting damaged, go ahead. Now, would I still recommend this phone? No. Repairability is a key part of this phone, but at the same time, it's not worth the downsides that come with this phone. And given that these are around $100, first of all, get the 2022 version, and second, maybe save up some more money and get something that's better overall, like a Pixel 7 or Samsung S22, or maybe even an iPhone 11 Pro. It's hard to say how much of a difference it'll actually be. I would say go with a 13 Pro or newer, but those are still $300 plus, which honestly is mind-blowing to me. So my solution would be a lot of phones besides this, but remember that the processor does matter and you want to check some benchmarks before deciding that the SE is the right choice for you. Isn't it ironic that this phone has 2020 in its name and that it's a bad phone? And that's my review of the iPhone SE 2020, the iPhone something else, as in buy something else. But what do you think? Got a hate comment or don't like my opinions? Let me know, and as always, thanks for watching.